Hey folks, welcome to the Archetype of Man channel. I'm Nick. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new CZ P09c Nocturne. So this is a double action, single action pistol chambered in 9mm. If you're not familiar with the P09, P07, this is going to be new and incredible. For you folks that are familiar with those, it's also going to be new and incredible in a lot of ways. So we're going to head over to the table. I have my P09 Urban Gray, and I have my P07, which has had some custom work done to it. And I'll tell you why this is a big deal. When we go over and compare it to the others, it'll make more sense. This is not my gun. This is a friend's pistol that is loaning it to me and letting me play with it and make these videos for y'all. But we'll head over here. We'll see how it compares to the P09 and the P07. All right, so for starters, here's my P07. All these guns are unloaded. Now this one, like I said, had some work done to it because these guns from the factory do not come with any kind of optics mounting technology until the Nocturne. I had to have it milled, and then a new dovetail cut for the rear sight there, and then this slide Cerakoted green. This work was done by King of Camo in Cumming, Georgia. Great folks. I'll link them in the description. This is what I've been carrying. So 15+1, kind of Glock 19 size, but with that double action, single action capability, which is what I prefer. So there was a lot to get a stock P07 to here. The P09, which is actually my first CZ that I ever owned, is much larger. As you can see, you have a full size gun. Now this one is not a bare bones P09 on account of having the suppressor height sights and the threaded barrel in the color scheme. This is the Urban Gray. I know they discontinued the P01 Urban Gray, which is their CZ75 alloy frame gun. I'm not sure if this one's still in production. This is a great gun. The other thing is with the Urban Gray, you get a 21 round magazine. So 21+1, not a small gun. Size comparison, here's the P07, here's the P09. So you can tell they're pretty different size-wise. That being said, the P09 magazine will work in the P07. So some of you are already picking up that the P09c Nocturne is P07 size. It appears that CZ is slimlining their catalog, consolidating it. So they will have the P09, which will be the full size, and then this is the P09c compact, and it's Nocturne, and it's optics ready from the factory. So that is cool. The sights that are on it are 3-dot sights. They work well enough. I'll have a short floating around before this goes live of me shooting it one-handed. Now this is my first day messing with it, and it's very easy to shoot in my opinion. So very comfortable gun. Because CZ slides ride down in the frame, if you want to get your support hand thumb alongside the gun without messing with the slide function, these are great guns for that. So that is awesome. The P09 and the P07 are the same way. The slide rides down in the frame, so you can really get on the gun and go about your business. So I think now we need to shoot it some. And I've got 3 fresh B8 repair centers. I figure we'll shoot a mag through each gun and see see how that goes. So people always want me to talk about accuracy. It's such a subjective thing. Besides putting this in some sort of ransom rest, I might shoot a gun better or worse than you, and you might shoot a particular gun better or worse than me. If we notice any crazy abnormalities, then we can address that. So the P07 and the P09c Nocturne, the new one, both have mag capacities of 15+1. This one's 21+1. I've loaded 15 rounds. So we have 3 B8 repair centers. I'm going to start with the CZ I've had the longest, which is this one. Doesn't necessarily mean it's the one that's been shot the most. And we'll just go down from there. So I'll put both P09s on the silhouette target with the 2 repair centers, and my P07 with the dot will go over on the standalone one. So without further ado, first shot will be double action because that's the way they're supposed to be, and we'll go. All right, well, there's one extra one by my count in the full-size P09. So now we will do the P07. All right, now we'll do the P07 on the target on the right. All right, that is the only one with an optic on it today. And now we'll do the P09c Nocturne on the bottom V8 repair center. Again, double action first shot. All right, so that was fun. Let's go up there and take a look at the target, shall we? So we'll start here. This is the P09. Pulled one into the 7, couple here in the 8, one line break there. I wasn't exactly doing slow fire, but I wasn't cooking them off either. Then we'll go over here to the P07. Well, we pulled this one over here in the 8. Now this one does have an optic on it, so it was a little bit easier for me. Not sure why I'm trending left. Might be me, might be the dot. We'll go with me. And then the Nocturne. The gun I've shot the least by a wide margin. So that's crazy. That actually is a better group with the Nocturne than the standard P09. Now it could be because it's so similar in size to my P07 that I'm more comfortable with that size gun. The only thing that's really changed is the fact that, you know, iron sight's first optic, but I'll take it. Another thing they have changed, remember how I said that the gun was basically a P07 and the same mag capacity? Well, the magazines are not the same. So it is unloaded. On this magazine though, it has these little lips so that if you had a double feed or something, you can strip that mag out very easily. So it is interesting to note, if you already have a P07, let me get that mag out, the, call them legacy P07 mags, or just P07 since they're going P09 on this, the old mags will work in the new gun. That being said, do like juggling over here, and it does fit my P07 holster, so that is interesting for sure. The new mags will not work in the P07. They go in, but they can't seat because of those grab pads or whatever you want to call them. Is it a good feature? Yeah, and I think with a base plate swap they would work. That's if you've ever tried to clear a double feed. Having the ability to strip the magazine out is not a bad thing. Can you do it with this? Yeah, I normally have to get on the lip mags like this, get on that front lip, and you can rip it out. So it's doable, it's just different. Whether that's good or bad, I'll leave up to you. Other than that though, they also simplified the rail up front. So here's the P07 rail, you can see multiple slots. This one slot. Again, how much that matters, you know, that'll be an individual thing. I think they've done a really good job. The serrations, they have changed some. You now see they go all the way across the top of the slide as well as on the sides. So the fact that they've still got forward serrations, all of that is very cool to me. The stock sights they include on it are metal. They're 3-dot luminescent night sights, so not tritium, but they will glow in the dark, which is good. You have the interchangeable back straps. So this one is the large that's on here. That's what my friend put on there, and they work fine. We can go take a look at some of the other components on the tabletop. We'll field strip them and see how similar the barrels and recoil springs and all that are. Please bear with any gunfire you hear going on. We are filming at Pickens County Sportsman's Club, but here's a better look at those mags. P07 mag here, P09c Nocturne mag here. Notches look like they're in the same place here. Everything looks pretty similar except that base plate and the fact this one's got a shitload of wear on it. So let's go ahead and take these apart. We'll start with the P07. So you're just gonna drop the slide, then you're gonna line these notches up. It's kind of goofy to do on camera for me because you do have to come over to this side once you pull that back and push your takedown lever a little bit. The optic actually helps a little here. Pull that out. Everything comes apart. So I'll just move this. Hopefully you guys are getting all this on camera. We'll take a look at our components. We'll do the same thing over here. It's not so bad once you're used to it, but it's not a Glock. So for some of y'all, it's going to be a little bit of a learning experience. Again, not the end of the world. So it looks like everything is the same. So here's your recoil springs. They look identical. Barrels look identical, minus the fact that mine's had a little bit more time put on it. His will too in time. Everything looks the same. So that's interesting there. And I don't have one of the new P09 full-size Nocturnes to look at, but from what I'm seeing so far, a lot of this looks interchangeable. Now I know some of you are going to want to know, can you put a Nocturne slide on a regular, and we'll just test. We'll use the parts from the regular P07 here and see how all that goes together, and if that's something that can be done. Let's make this little Franken gun here, see what we get. There we are. We have a P07 frame, Nocturne slide. Everything seems to function fine. Let's load a couple rounds and see. Alright, 50 yards from the steel silhouettes down there. Got it loaded up with 5 rounds. Let's see what we get here. We will do the first one double action. Alright, got a couple hits, and it functioned just fine. So there's that. Wow, that's kind of a it's kind of a good looking setup there, green and black. Yeah, well, that's interesting. I don't know if they will be selling just the slides on their own or not, but I'm gonna go ahead and get these put back together and let's talk about it some more. So if you already have a P07, do you need to go run and grab the P09c Nocturne? Or if you already have a P09, vice versa. I don't know. You do you, man. It would depend on what you're wanting to do with the gun. And if the answer is, I really want to put an optic on it, I don't want to have a milled, because unlike Glock milling, not everybody does CZ milling. This one takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. We will probably play with it some more and put a red dot on it in the future and continue reviewing it and stuff. This is an initial look. If you're wanting an optics ready gun, this might be the way to go, as opposed to having the aftermarket work done. That being said, I don't regret the work that I had done to my P07 by any means. It's definitely one of a kind. It's held up well. I've got some Dawson Precision sights. But finding a shop that's willing to do that for you, and the downtime and whatnot that go into it, you know, it's up to you. That being said, with the other one, the guys at CZ designed everything to work. Obviously, there's some one-offs, and people are going to say, yeah, but I had issues out of whatever. You know, not everybody gets it right 100% of the time. And the same can be true with a custom shop. Like I said, I'm lucky with the work that I've had done. You eagle-eyed people may notice some rust on my rear sight. I do landscaping, I carry it, it gets sweat on it, and periodically I've got to go through and deal with that. My initial impressions, this is the first CZ product I have shot since the Colt merger that's come out since then. I think this is a well thought out design. It looks like they really thought this through, and even where they moved the firing pin retainer roll pin back so it wouldn't interfere with the holes, post holes for the optic plate, and I'm not sure exactly what's under there just yet. And then there's ample room here for your rear dovetail, your front sight. These can be changed out to co-witness, although that is a pretty generous depth on the optics milling. So I'm not sure what sort of situation. Some of it's going to depend on what sort of dot you put on there. Double action, single action guns, I realized we didn't cover this, so just show you here, it is unloaded. So after you have chambered around or you're bin shooting, you have an ambidextrous decocker, so you can take that, hit it, safely drop your hammer. The gun is still ready to fire, which is why myself and a lot of other folks like it. The simplicity of a double action revolver with the capacity of a semi-auto is one way that I like to put it. To shoot the gun from this point, again, we're unloaded, all you have to do is present and pull the trigger. And what's going to happen is, if you watch the hammer, by pulling the trigger, the hammer comes back and falls. Now, obviously, we'll take the mag out for this. So, again, it falls, the slide's going to cycle. Your next shots, the hammer's cocked, allow the trigger to reset. There you go. Very nice single action trigger. The double action trigger is nothing to be scared of. It just takes some practice. And honestly, if you will shoot double action, it will help you become a better shooter, because there are things that you have to think through with that trigger weight and the length of the press. It's helped me. I've heard other folks say that as well. I think that a double action trigger is a great training tool, whether it's on a semi-auto like this or on a double action revolver. It's only going to help you become a more versatile and diligent shooter, because it is absolutely going to require some effort on your part. I could wax poetic about why I love double action guns for the rest of the day, so I won't bore you with that, but I think this is an excellent option. I'm not going to say that striker fired guns can't be carried safely appendix. I think they can, because at the end of the day, the biggest thing, in my opinion, is where your finger is while you're reholstering, looking your gun into the holster. You can do all that with a striker fired gun. With a double action gun, you also get the benefit of being able to put your thumb over the hammer while you're holstering. Should something occur and get in that trigger guard and start pushing that trigger, number one, that's a lot of weight. Number two, you'll have instant feedback with the hammer. It's not an excuse to be sloppy. It's just an added layer of comfort, especially for me carrying appendix. I like that. I know kind of what's going on while I'm holstering. But again, nothing against you striker fired guys. It's just this has some added perks and does require some added work. Weigh off in the comments what your thoughts are. Are you familiar with the P07 or P09? And is this enough of an upgrade to get you to go buy one? There we have it. Guys, stay safe. Make sure you train with whatever you're carrying and have fun. Be safe at the range. I'll see you all next time.